Hello and welcome back to Jenna Gets Creative. I hope everyone had a great holiday season and a happy new year. Thank you so much to everyone who stuck around through my little holiday break, and welcome to the new subscribers I gained while I was away. If you watched any of the last couple of videos I put out during my 25 Days of Artmas Marathon, but particularly the one where I talked about my goals for 2020, you'll know that my biggest YouTube-related goal for 2020 is to qualify for the YouTube Partner Program. In order to do that, I need at least 1,000 subscribers, and I need a total combined watch time over the most recent 12 months of 4,000 hours. Proportionately, I'm almost on track with that watch time, and almost 3/4 of the way there with my subscriber count, so I'm hoping it'll come sooner rather than later. To celebrate when I get there, and to incentivize you lovely viewers and subscribers, I'll be holding an international giveaway once I'm eligible to submit my channel for the Partner Program review. So if you're watching but you're not subscribed, which is usually about 90% of you, please don't forget to subscribe, and if you want notifications on when I upload, make sure you tap that bell again and set notifications to all. And no matter if you're a subscriber or just visiting, every second of watch time does help, but it really helps if you watch through to the end. So I promise I won't be offended if you want to mute the video, or if you're multitasking right now, totally cool, I do it too. Your watch time is appreciated no matter what. If you're new here, I do upload at least twice a week, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and as you probably guessed, I'm an art channel. Some weeks I have bonus uploads, and next week will be one of them, as us members of the Art Addicts Alliance will be doing our January upload next Friday. I should have a Scrawler box and a new subscription box I'm testing out waiting in my mailbox now, so look for those videos this month. I've got a few collaborations planned already, and I'd love to do lots more this year, so get in touch with me if you're interested in collaborating. Real quick backtrack to that future giveaway before I talk about today's art piece. As mentioned, it will be open internationally. I'll announce the entry period dates once I've qualified to apply for YouTube Partnership and done so, but don't worry, I won't necessarily make you all wait for YouTube's people to get around to reviewing me. I've heard that can sometimes take a while. I don't have the items all picked out yet, so I won't start teasing them right now, but the winner will be receiving some art supplies and a small original artwork. In order to enter, you'll need to be a channel subscriber. You'll need to follow me on either Instagram or Twitter so I can send you a private message, and you need to be at least 14 years of age and have your parent or guardian's permission to enter and provide your mailing address if you're still living at home. On to the piece. This is a mixed media cat portrait I did as a Christmas gift for my sister. If you saw us collaborate on Zelda-themed drawings back in the spring of last year, then you've met her. We've been meaning to collaborate more, but she hasn't had the time to get started on a channel yet, as she's working on her master's degree while also teaching full-time. Proud of you, Jess. So this portrait is her cat, Glitter, who passed away late last year. She was 17 and the last of our childhood pets, so even though this particular cat really didn't like me, I was sad to see her go. We found her at a flea market back in 2002. She and her littermates were in a box marked Free Kittens, and when somebody picked a kitten out of the box, either Glitter or her remaining brother timed a jump at the side of the box just right to tip it over. The brother ran and hid under a parked van. Mom used Glitter to coax him out. Someone else who saw what happened happily took the brother, and Mom took absolutely no encouragement at all to let us keep Glitter. Jess held Glitter in the van on the way home, and apparently that was all the time they needed to bond, because she was well and truly Jess's cat from day one. We've always suspected the kittens were either crop-outs of an intentional litter or an accidental crossing from a dishonest Bengal cat breeder, since Glitter ended up with so many Bengal traits, but she didn't have any fully developed rosettes, and her ears aren't as rounded as you'd expect in a Bengal. The rest of us always thought that Jess named Glitter because she looked like one of the kittens on a glittered poster Jess had hanging in her room, and 10-year-olds do things like that. And just saying, when she was a preschooler, she named a black rabbit Blackie. But later we found out that she named Glitter because her fur appeared to glitter or sparkle in the sunlight, and as it turns out, that's typical of Bengals due to the Egyptian macaques used in the breed's foundation. Regardless of what Glitter was or wasn't, she was an extremely affectionate and cuddly buddy for my sister for nearly 2 decades, and she'll be missed. This piece was done on Strathmore Artagain toned paper. I used the initial tone and visible paper grain to my advantage and let that help give the cat's fur texture and life. For the background, I used an assortment of Stabilo CarbOthello pastel pencils to achieve the purple background quickly. I picked purple because it's my sister's favorite, but also because the cat's collar is purple and it contrasts nicely with the brown and black tones of the cat's coat. For the cat herself, I only used highly lightfast colored pencils. This was mostly done in Faber-Castell Polychromos, but I did use a couple of the Derwent Lightfast pencils I own, as well as my white and titanium buff pencils from Caran Luminance line. In her youth, Glitter didn't have any completely white on her, except for the smallest bit on the tip of her chin. But this faded into the cream color on her whisker pads, making people second guess on whether or not she had a white muzzle in general. She also had the typical cream goggles around round black-rimmed eyes that are very typical of Bengals. You can't possibly know this without the reference photos, which I may or may not end up editing into the footage here, but I cheated a bit with the collar. In my main reference photo, the collar's large, rounded plastic breakaway buckle was in front, and no matter how I tried to work that into my original sketch, it looked stupid. So I cheated and pretended the collar was turned around. You're absolutely allowed to do that kind of thing if you're doing pet portraits, by the way, unless your client specifically requests you to keep non-essential details like the finer workings of a collar. Don't let those intimidate you or discourage you from taking a project. I used a 6x9 inch piece of paper, hoping I could get a 6x8 frame, but I knew I would probably only be able to find a 5x7 on short notice, so I made sure the cat was sized to fit in 5x7, and I wasn't too worried about the consistency of the background at the edges. In total, from transferring the final sketch to my good paper to completion, this piece took about 8 hours. I hope I've managed to cut down the footage in a way that's not too dizzying to watch. I've been trying to do better at that since the big Halloween Pokemon collage I did back in October had far too much spinning of the paper all sped up at exactly the same rate with no big jump cuts. Let me know what you think of the editing in the comments down below. Anyway, thanks so much for watching and just for coming back around and continuing to watch me this year. I've got a feeling this is going to be a great year for the channel and for my art projects in general, and I'm so happy that so many of you have decided to come along for the ride. It feels good to be back after my break, but I'm still getting back to normal with the time zone change, so thank goodness I slotted this particular piece in for today. It was already filmed, just had to narrate and edit. I'll see you again on Tuesday with the first of 3 videos next week. Bye guys!